Tommy G. I love your productions a lot and kudos to your creative team. In this video, I will try to recreate one of your YouTube thumbnails and even attempts to add one or more elements if possible. So, let's get started. So I started the whole design by going to Pinterest to go and look for some images that I'm going to use for my design. And at the end of the day, I was able to come up with this. I then pull all of them down to Photoshop and begin to remove the background one by one as you are seeing on your screen. But of course, that is going to be too boring and will take a lot of time, you already know. So I decided to cut that out. But after the whole process, this is what I got after removing the background. I then went ahead and take pictures of myself, and this way the pictures that I was able to get. And as you can see, these pictures are very blurry, they have grains, and the rest of all of them are totally unusable for any professional settings because I'm using the cheapest and the lowest type of phones because I'm too broke to get a camera right now. So I guess if I can use ChatGPT to remove the grains and blurs before I now move it to Photoshop, I just type a prompt as you are seeing like this, and at the end of the day, this is what ChatGPT sent to me. Oh my god, this is crazy. ChatGPT just distorted the whole picture completely and is sending me something that doesn't even look like my face. So I decided to go back again to web and look for any other tool that can help me remove the blur. At the end of the day, I landed with this one. I decided to give it a try. I now drag in my picture and begin to scan it, go through the process and see if it works. At the end of the day, this is what I got. To be very frank with you, I think this did a perfect job compared to what ChatGPT did. Maybe I'm the one that don't really know how to use the prompt, or maybe the prompts that I typed in wasn't correct, but I think I can work with this. So from here, I downloaded the picture and decided to pull it down to Photoshop as you are seeing and begin to remove the background by picking up pen tool and begin to cut the edges. And as you already know, the process would be so boring, so I decided to just cut the footage out completely. So after I finished removing the background, I decided to do a little bit of retouches from the edges to make everything smooth as you are seeing like this. And immediately I was done, I decided to use camera raw to enhance the picture. Remember that I use a very low quality phone to snap the image, and at the end of the day, this is what I was able to come up with. Just when I thought that I am done with the whole thing for me to start using the image, I discovered that the image that I've been working all along is now gonna be usable, because if you look at the hands of the cloth, if we use this for our design, this particular gap that is here is gonna be too obvious. It's not gonna look good on our design. So with this, all our efforts, we did it on a wrong image. So I decided to go back again and take another picture, and this time around I was careful with the edges and I came up with this. Decided to repeat the whole process and now pull it up to Photoshop and pick a pen tool and repeat the whole process. So immediately I was done. This is what I now get. Okay, so from here I decided to open Photoshop and start my design and create a background. And where I actually start from is me pulling up the background and dropping it and try to scale everything down and try to resize it to be sure that it's a perfect size. I went ahead and pulled in the elements starting from the airplane and other images. So after putting all the images together in my canvas, and I began to draw some shadows, and in order to make everything hyper realistic. So I just do this by picking exposure adjustment layer, picking up my brush tool and putting up all the settings and begin to draw the shadows in areas that I feel like the shadows should be there in order to make it very realistic. So I went back again to the original picture and now check, and I discovered that there is one element that I didn't actually add here, which is the money image. So I decided to go ahead and just drag that to my canvas, resize it, and place it in a particular place that I like, and now duplicate it because I just want the picture of the money to be much, let it look massive, man. The next thing that I just decided to do is to fix it by putting up some shadows and making it to look more unrealistic, like just what you are seeing on the screen. I think this is nice. We notice their own sky that they use in their thumbnail is not that too bluish. It has some little bit of white and some stuff like that. So I decided to look for another image again this time around that would have a little bit of bright sky, and drag it and drop on my canvas. Then now resize it like this, and now place it, and I just invert the mask, pick my brush tool again, and begin to paint it on some areas that I feel like the mask should be there, just to make it more realistic. I discovered that in their own image, the pastor is wearing a red suit, a red jacket, and our own is black. And I was thinking, what if we can change this black suit to something like red? I just start with picking hue and saturation adjustment layer and begin to like just change some settings, and also put some levels adjustment layers and curves adjustment layer, and make sure that I blend everything together and try to make the perfect red color. And once I was done, I just inverted the mask, picked my brush tool, and just start painting the whole place that I feel like it should be in red color. And immediately I was done, I decided to copy my old mask that I've already painted with hue and saturation to other adjustment layer, just to blend the whole color together. Then I now look at the picture of my own self, and I think that I should give myself a little bit of pink lips. After all, I'm a fine guy, right? Look at me, handsome guy. So I need to paint some lighting, because if you look at it, this is an outdoor type of design where the sun is really shining. So there should be a reflection of that light on my skin. So just pick exposure adjustment layer, and begin to paint it all over my face and all over other assets from the car, pastor himself, the house, and the rest of all of that. So now that I'm done with painting the lighting in everywhere, I discovered that in their own version, they have a little bit of cross on the pastor suit, and why don't we put that also in our own? So I decided to get an image of a cross and now drag it into my canvas and just resize everything, and decided to find a place to place it, and just checking up on their own picture again. Then I place it here, and from here now I just decided to add a little bit of shadow to make everything more realistic by using exposure adjustment layer. So just pick my brush to set it up and begin to draw some shadow at some places that I feel like it should be. And at the end of the day, boom, this is exactly what we have. Looking so nice, right? This is beautiful. But I'm saying to myself, why don't we just power on the light of these cars right now? I think if we power it on, it should look so much epic, right? So I'm gonna do that. So I proceeded with picking my pen tool for a start and begin to trace the shape of the light of the car, how I want it to look like. I convert everything to quick selection, and I pick my hue and saturation adjustment layer and begin to put the colors based on exactly how I want it to look like. And now that I was done, I just decided to pick my brush tool from here and begin to draw the light to make it more brighter, look like the light is really on. I decided to do it with the second light that is in the other side of the car, just to make everything look so epic. And at the end of the day, this is what I have. I think I'm really much okay with this. What is remaining for us right now is maybe to add a little bit of camera raw, right? just to make everything blend together. So I decided to duplicate the whole of my design and now convert it to smart objects, and from here decide to open camera raw filters, and I begin by tweaking some few things like the clarity, the shadows, adding some vibrance, and even doing some color grading, blend everything together. And at the end of the day, I was able to come up with this. What do you think about it? This is nice. If you like this type of video, consider turning your post on notifications so that each time I post another video like this, you will be notified to come and watch it. Do not forget to hit that like button if you like this video, and I will see you in the next one.